Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. The Houston Rockets defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder in 5 games. And congratulations to Houston. You're going to move on to face whoever wins the San Antonio and Memphis series, which is probably the best series that's going on right now. Memphis versus San Antonio. But I'm going to take a timeout to really commend Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder for trying to fight. They were basically set up in a situation where they were made to lose. They absolutely did not get any great contributions from any other players besides Westbrook. I'm gonna just tell you. For the entire series, I'm gonna tell you what some of these guys average. All right, you ready? So Russell Westbrook averaged 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. Now, here's the key thing about this whole entire series. Westbrook had barely anything to play with, and he managed not to get swept. That's more than I can say for Paul George. So I'm just gonna put that out there. For anybody who wants to criticize Westbrook and how he played, there was a lot of games he shot the team out of games, which makes sense because he can't trust the other teammates. People are saying, "Well, trust your teammates." You foundation of trust. These guys are professionals; they could play as well. Every time he gave them the basketball, they gave it right back to him. These guys were scared of the moment. It was too big for them. Some of these guys, maybe it's the first time in the playoffs. Maybe they just don't understand the magnitude of their contribution, but they were scared. He couldn't trust them because they didn't trust themselves. But we're going to go down the line. We're looking at some of these guys. Andre Roberson is the one that averaged 13 points. Victor Oladipo averaged 11 points. All right. Taj Gibson averaged 9.8 points. Steven Adams, he's supposed to be their second best player, correct? Steven Adams averaged 8 points. Nobody on the Oklahoma City Thunder averaged over 15 points per game. Nobody. That's how horrible the team was set up. And, they give Sam Presti a lot of credit. Oh, you draft really well and it's set up like a college atmosphere. Well, what you basically did, and only focusing on the draft, not really trying to bring great free agents, not trying to make trades, not trying to be involved in blockbuster trades. In doing what you did, you know what you created for the team? You created not only a college atmosphere in terms of the organization, you created a college team. Russell Westbrook was basically surrounded by a bunch of college players, even though they're pros, and I'm not trying to take away anything from them. But these guys were not ready to be playing in the playoffs. I'm shocked that they made it. And that's a testament to Russell Westbrook because he took a team that should not have been in the playoffs and they were able to make the playoffs, which is remarkable within itself. He averaged a triple-double in the series. He averaged a triple-double for the entire season, but a triple-double for this series, and they only were able to win one game. Some of that falls on his shoulders. There are a lot of games, even this last closeout game, he went like 1 for 12 or 2 for, it was like 5 minutes left, or 3 minutes left, he was 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter. So I definitely understand that, and I'm not taking away from that. But you're looking at the rest of his teammates, 13 points per game, 11 points per game. Andre Roberson had one game where he went 2 for 13 from the free throw line. That's not even 30%. That's worse than Andre Drummond when the Detroit Pistons got swept. So I don't want to hear anything about, well, they were a stacked team and I can't believe Durant left. This is why Durant left, because they were not as stacked as people wanted you to believe, as people led us to believe. They had a bunch of big guys in the paint and stuff like that, and it was just KD and it was Russell Westbrook. Deion Waiters would have sporadic spurts where he would play good from time to time, but it wasn't consistent. And other than that, there was nothing there. There was nothing there. It was just all smoke and mirrors. And KD leaving in this series really shows you that Russell Westbrook had nothing to really lean on in terms of getting support from his teammates. When you look at their three-point shooting, guess who averaged 50% from the field? Andre Roberson. He went 7 for 14 because they kept leaving him open, because if he kept shooting those threes, his average would consistently decrease. I believe his overall average in his career is 28% from 3 or 21%, something like that. Really low. Then the next highest guy is Doug McDermott he shot 50. Doug McDermott shot 58% from three. He was only 7 for 12. But guess what he averaged for the series? 6 points per game. So he's probably hitting like 1 or 2 threes per game, and that's about it. So he probably go 2 for 3 or something like that in garbage time. So this is really a killer. This is really a wake-up call to Sam Presti and to Billy Donovan. He has to go up to the execs and say, we need more help. We need you guys to get us more talent. Like, this is not cutting it. We have too many bigs. We need a wing player. We need somebody that could get their own shot besides Russell Westbrook, because Victor Oladipo is not cutting it. And, I had high hopes for him, but it's just not cutting it. And, when it comes to the three-point shooting, which they actually had none of it, Russell Westbrook averaged 25% from three. Besides Robertson, Victor Oladipo averaged 21% from three. All right? You're talking about, let's get Alex Abrines more minutes. He's a three-point shooter. He averaged 33% from three. 30% from three. Norris Cole, 25% from three. Everybody besides Robertson and McDermott averaged 33% or less. So they had absolutely no shooting. And the whole thing with Robertson is fool's gold, because they want him to shoot those shots because his average is going to decrease over time. And you can see it did, because he would stop taking those shots. It was sort of like last year in the Western Conference Finals, where he was making the threes in the first 3 games, and then down the stretch of the last 4 games, he couldn't buy a basket. And that, the law of averages plays itself out in that situation. So, congratulations to the Houston Rockets. They scored a ton of baskets. They got a lot of 3-point fouls, which that's a segment for another top. That's a topic for another segment, where the NBA needs to do something about these 3-point fouls. These guys can't keep lifting their arm into somebody or whatever the case may be. I picked the Oklahoma City Thunder as a dark horse. I thought they were going to go ahead and upset Houston, but they just couldn't get enough support. And that's just going to be the topic going to the summer. Where can we get support? Where can we make trades? That's something that the board, the higher-ups, the owner, GM, everybody has to come in. It has to be all hands on deck. They're going to have to stop treating Oklahoma City Thunder like a college atmosphere and treat it like a business, like a professional NBA business, where you need to bring players that can give other teams the business. Because right now, this is not cutting it. You got a guy that averages a triple-double for the series, and you guys only win 1 game? It's like, come on. Every time they'll pull Russell Westbrook for him to get a blow, to get some rest. Houston would just go on a huge lead. I believe it was like Game 3. The Houston Rock, Game 3 or Game 2. Oklahoma City Thunder had like a 12-point lead in the third. He sat on the bench. No less than 2 minutes, the lead was gone. He had to come back in the game. It just makes no sense why their team is set up like this. Like, this is one of the worst concocted teams in a long time. And I know you lost Durant, and I know that makes a lot of sense as to why they play so poorly, but this team has professionals that can't average 15 to 20 points to assist Russell Westbrook in anything. It's really sad. It was really sad to watch him go down like this. The criticisms that came out, this is not MVP status. Like, I want to see any guy that has to put up with somebody that shoots 20% from 3, 33% from 3, 30% from 3, and expect them to win. I don't care who you could put LeBron in this situation. You could put LeBron in the same exact situation, and I don't think he'll flourish. People say, well, he took that Cleveland Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers team, even though they had scrubs, they had guys that could hit threes. Boobie Gibson. What's the other guy's name that got hit? Oh, crap. His name eludes me. They had guys that could shoot threes. They had guys who could hit a mid-range jumper. They had Varejao who could dive to the rim and collect assists. This is a whole different ball game. This Oklahoma City Thunder team is like the bottom of the bottom. It's the bottom of the bottom. And I mean, no disrespect. I like all those guys. I like Sabonis this year. I like Adams. I thought that he was emerging. But that's the thing. These guys are young and they're emerging. They had no business making the playoffs. But the fact that they did, you hear ball out. And a lot of guys, they left stuff on the table. I know when it's time to go home this summer and they're in Cancun or they're somewhere nice and warm, they're gonna be like, you know what, I could have did this better, or I should have attacked better. And hopefully they come back and work on their game, but that's not gonna be enough. Sam Presti, you have to make moves. You have to make them now. You're not gonna get this Russell Westbrook next year or the year after, because eventually athleticism tapers off, speed tapers off. So what are you gonna do to put everything in the bottle now and try to win now? This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.